So Hadassah, I understand that you are a biology major at Berman. Could you tell us how that came to be, why you chose that particular field of study?
It wasn't until about, I think, was it 3 semesters ago that I was like, okay, now I know, now I know what I want to do. And so, now I'm trying to channel that into, Lord willing, get into med school to be a pediatrician.
And I mean, pre-med is no easy feat. I understand that for the last 2 years, you've been leading the children's ministry department at Maskwacis Church. Like, what motivated you to, I mean, you could be sleeping in. What motivated you to get involved with that?
I think what motivated me to get involved with it in the first place was that naturally I have quite a bit of energy. And so I need something to keep me going that's on the side. But what kept me involved in it is that, under Berman, yes, I'm the Maskwacis Children's Coordinator Leader, but both Julie and Aiyanna here and everyone else are all part of the church, right? So I'm not the only one doing anything, we're kind of a team. And it was the ability, like the welcoming atmosphere and the chances of learning to have an experience and this team that kept me.
Okay. And now I hear that you're a house mother for children and young adults on the reserve, and you help with safe spaces for youth and young adults. How did you get involved in that?
That was actually also through work here with the church. One of our members was doing a sort of care as well, and I began helping her out. And then from there, I was able to get the job into a group home situation. So, yeah.
And so, like, take us through what a day-to-day sort of activities, operations. What does your day look like being a house mother? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so there's a lot of confidentiality involved with what we do. But just imagine that you're the parent, right, and you have your kids. So the same duties that you'd be doing as a parent, you're now going to be doing as the caretaker because you are the family for that child. So that means appointments, meals, homework, companionship, anything you can think of that you would do as a parent. That's what a support worker would have to do as well. And so
working with Maskwacis in the community, you've come to know a lot of people and meet a lot of people. Do you have any favorite experience with working with the community?
I think like a top experience, like I said before, would be we went out on a trip to Nordegg one time. Like it was super spontaneous. Just texted a bunch of people. We jumped in the car, and we went out to Nordegg, did a hike, and we came back. And so it's a little experience, but it was kind of a big experience because it was just fun, and it opened up a lot of good conversations and relationships, and like you're able to go out and experience and do things together. And I'll have to say that most of the time I'm learning far more than anything else. So like I love these experiences because they put me in situations where I have to learn and I'm taught.
And that leads me to the next question. What is the biggest thing you've learned working in the community?
Ask questions. Yeah, you cannot go wrong asking questions. You don't know everything. In fact, I don't think I knew anything when I came. so ask lots of questions and don't be afraid. Like if you make a mistake, you gotta man up to it. Just transparency and honesty. We're just friends, we're all people. We hang out and we're friends. Yeah.
Aiyanna, how are you?
I'm good.
It's good to see you. Now, I understand that you have been going to church when Pastor Peter Ford was here for many years, since you were a kid, really. How has that experience been?
Has been good, actually. Pastor Peter and Vicky, they became like a second family to me. So it's been great.
Nice. And specifically now, I understand that you didn't graduate from Mans, but you went to a local high school, your band high school, and you graduated from there. How was that experience?
That was good. I was actually the first one out of my siblings to graduate. I'm the second oldest, and then I was the first one out of my Muslim and Gukum's grandkids to graduate. So it was a big deal, actually.
That is, you know what? We need a clap for that. Wow, you're making the first of history in your family. How do you feel about that? Like being the first in your family to graduate high school? Like, what kind of feelings does that bring you?
It feels real good. I mean, I knew I was gonna be the first just because my brother, he was like busy with his girlfriend and like making the family, right? So he had like younger ones. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna pass him.
Yes, yeah. So like you're a true leader just from out the gate leading. Now, I understand as well that you were a part of the summer team since you were 12. How old are you now?
I'm 21.
So you've been doing that like every summer since you were 12. Wow, wow. So, do you feel like a leader?
Not yet.
But it's cool because you had that experience from 12 and now you're in your 20s. I'm sure that you learned a lot of things.
I did.
What would you say that you learned the most from the summer program?
Getting out of my comfort zone. Because when I first started, I was like real shy. Wouldn't say anything, but like stay close to like Pastor Peter or like one of the other people. Now like I'm okay with like talking, like leading the group, talking to kids.
Wow. So that piece about leading, and I love that, the fact that you're like, that took you out your comfort zone. Like, what brought that leader sort of spirit out of you? Was it specific something that sort of pushed that? Because you weren't always like that. But being in the program, did something where you just stepped up? Did something push you?
I think all these years watching like everyone else lead and like do their groups or like their little sessions they had, I was like, oh, one day I want to be like that. So I think that seeing that like got me like, oh, okay, I need to like get out of my comfort zone and I need to like just do it and not be shy. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. And I understand that you're up for another summer. You're doing something this summer, so you're not stopping. And so tell me this. One of the last questions. What's in store for this summer? Like, what are you guys doing? What are you guys up to? Where are you going?
So this year is different just because of COVID. So we're trying to make videos and put them on YouTube so the kids can look at or like watch. So we're doing that right now.
Wow. Juliette. And your last name's Rain. I think that's such a dope, that's really, I mean, good, great last name. Rain, like, I tell people, like, yo, call me Rain. Isn't that cool? Do you ever do that?
No.
All right, cool. We'll stick with Juliette. So Juliette, you are a student here at Mans. This June, when school year's done, what grade are you going to be finishing?
I'm going to be finishing grade 11.
Grade 11. Okay, so you're going into grade 12. This is going to be your last year, and you're going to graduate next year. God willing. Rain. Okay, so I understand that you were a part of Total Praise, the signing group, which was led by my wife. Yeah. And you performed at camp meeting one year. What was that experience like?
It was scary at first, but then getting into it, it was fun.
Do you enjoy signing? Yeah. What do you enjoy most about sign language?
Getting to meet new people while going to do it, and then just feeling like a good connection between all of them.
Nice. And I heard you did something super cool during COVID. I heard that you started a Facebook group for teachers and students as soon as there was a lockdown, and you started a group. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, I started the Facebook group so that everybody can keep a connection and keep a way to talk to each other and just check in.
Wow. I love that. Like the fact that you took initiative, like you stepped up to the plate. No one asked you to do that, right? But you just did it. I mean, that's powerful. That's powerful. And how's it going now?
It's going good. People still share there, and
wow, that's awesome. When you think of Mans, when you think of the school, what do you like about Mans? What's your favorite thing about Mans?
I think my favorite thing about Mans is how every child here or student can be involved in something, and how everybody works together.
Wow. I love that. And one of the last questions I'm going to ask you, Juliette, is What are your plans after you graduate next year? What are you thinking of doing?
Hoping to get into college or get into trade, welding trade.